Hi guys, it's Melissa, Ameri-Kiwi mom, and I'm here with Tom Rutherford, who is the local MP for National for Tauranga. And so we are going to talk today about the Kiwisaver. I'm not going to take video, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the video. It's just easier for me to just show audio. So it's going to go black, but there still will be audio. Okay, here we go. Hopefully you can hear this still. You guys are going to look at the ceiling. Okay. Look at the ceiling.
You can hear us. You can hear us.
This is what Americans see when we roll our eyes every time we get text. We look at the ceiling. Okay. I wrote a little speech just because I don't want to ramble.
Yeah.
Okay. So thanks for meeting with me.
That's okay.
So I wanted to catch you here because I know that it's hard to get you in your office, and I live across the street.
Yes.
I wanted to briefly raise a major unintended consequence regarding National's new campaign promise to make Kiwisaver compulsory. While we as Americans understand the goal is to build long-term financial security for Kiwis, which is something that we as Americans generally support, making it mandatory will create an absolute nightmare for one specific group.
That's right.
American citizens and U.S. tax residents living and working right here in New Zealand. Mm-hmm. Before I go on, I just want to say that we as Americans are generally pro-Kiwisaver. Mm-hmm. We are pro-retirement. Many Americans actually want to retire to New Zealand, and Americans are moving out of the United States at unprecedented rates, many to New Zealand. Yeah. We're talking doctors, nurses, OBGYNs, surgeons, people who actually help, engineers, teachers. Yeah. But the United States is one of only two countries in the world, the other being Eritrea, which is in Africa, mm-hmm. that taxes its citizens based on their citizenship, no matter where they live in the world or for how long. Okay. So, because of how the U.S. views foreign retirement schemes like Kiwisaver and also the Australian one, if an American is forced to hold a Kiwisaver, the U.S. government treats it not as a retirement scheme, but as a foreign trust.
Mm-hmm. Like an investment, effectively.
Rather than a standard retirement fund. This means that any growth or employer contributions are hit with highly punitive, aggressive U.S. taxes. So just to specify, all unrealized gains, and this is really important, unrealized gains, if they are not properly invested in a Kiwisaver, will be taxed annually. Mm-hmm. At 37%. Wow. Unrealized gains. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to get to the tax compliance paperwork portion as well. Yeah. The paperwork required by the U.S. to report a Kiwisaver is incredibly complex. If this becomes compulsory, every working American in New Zealand will be forced to shell out thousands of dollars, so it's $3,000 to $5,000 New Zealand dollars a year to specialized tax accountants just to fill out the forms and remain compliant. Mm-hmm. Any financial gains made in the Kiwisaver will effectively be garnished by the U.S. government in the form of that 37% tax on unrealized gains and $3,000 to $5,000 New Zealand dollars in tax accountant fees per year. This is a reason why my husband, who is also American, and we've been here for 12 years. We're now dual citizens of New Zealand and the United States. Yeah. We have never had Kiwisavers. We have always opted out because we looked at it, and on the face of it, we cannot afford it. That doesn't mean that we're poor. Mm-hmm. We make a good household income. We don't draw on any. We don't get any benefits. We don't even get the child tax credit. So an added hit to any money that we make, especially on the U.S. side, is extremely detrimental to our family. Yeah. Okay. This creates two major issues for New Zealand. First, to avoid these severe U.S. tax penalties, Americans would be forced to try to invest their Kiwisaver exclusively in U.S.-based funds rather than New Zealand ones, meaning this capital won't actually benefit the local New Zealand market. Correct. So you can get around...
It'd be invested overseas.
We would only be able to buy ETFs based in U.S. domicile, like mutual funds or whatever, stocks or whatever. Yeah. And so basically we would be handing we would be handing over the money to America. But if we invest it in New Zealand-based companies in our Kiwisaver, then they're going to garnish it at 37% on unrealized gains. So basically, think of it this way, Tom. We know that National is pro-immigration, and we know that National is pro-growth. Yeah. If we get hit with a compulsory Kiwisaver, Americans won't come. or they're much less likely to come, and they're going to just divert all their money to US ETFs anyway, and they're going to have less discretionary income to spend within the New Zealand market, going on holidays, sending their, I don't know, just buying extra stuff. Like we want to spend our money in New Zealand. We want to support the New Zealand economy.
Yeah.
This will heavily dissuade Americans coming here. And the reason I know this, and I'm not trying to brag, I wrote a book. It's called So You Want to Move to New Zealand. I'll send you a link. It was the #1 rated travel to New Zealand book on Amazon last year. And so I have met many Americans who have moved to New Zealand or who have, who are asking. Now, I'm not an immigration advisor, but my book more goes over like,
what to expect when you get here.
Yeah, everything that's fun, from what's a flat white.
Yeah. So why do we drive on the left-hand side of the road?
Yes, why do we drive on the left side? What is a roundabout? Don't crash in a roundabout, please. 2, an entire chapter on Kiwisaver. And an entire chapter on some of the banking pitfalls. Because FATCA really harms us too. Americans have been booted off Kiwi bank accounts just for being American. Not just in New Zealand, but around the world. So my book has helped a lot of people. I don't make a huge profit off it. It's $7 on Amazon. You can listen to it for free on audiobook on Spotify. I don't care. What I exist to, one of my missions in life is to help Americans thrive here, but this will hurt them. So just to finalize my speech, and then I'll show you some paperwork real quick. If National moves forward with this model, please consider adding a clear, straightforward opt-out clause for foreign citizens who face citizen-based taxation, and this would only apply to Americans and anyone who may come from Eritrea. Without it, a policy meant to help workers will end up financially draining a valuable part of our community and driving global talent away from New Zealand. And I mean, if you look at the stats, I'm sure you can find them. There are a ton of American doctors coming here, and this will make them think twice.
The only issue with the policy is the compulsory aspect about it. Hey, mate. You good?
Good to see you.
Yeah, good stuff, mate. Good stuff. I'll
Mind if I join you guys?
Yeah, you can come down and then I'll finish chatting with Mel.
So it is the issue, the compulsory is the issue. Now, if you guys make it compulsory, there needs to be, please, an off-ramp for us to say that if you are double taxed, like if you're a United States citizen, and by the way, we can't opt out of our citizenship unless we revoke, and it takes thousands of dollars, like tens of thousands of dollars in like legal fees. It takes over a year, and then actually if you revoke, they may actually prevent you from ever going back to the United States, even to visit family on a visa, on like a visitor visa, on a tourist visa. So this is why a lot of Americans don't want to revoke.
And so what, remain dual citizens effectively?
Yeah. Because it's not as easy to revoke your citizenship. Okay, lastly, I just want to leave you with some of this. This is paperwork, so this is just so you know I'm not making any of this up.
Yeah, of course.
These are, this is from an evergreenadvice.co.nz, American Expats, blah, blah. This is about how it's formed, and basically, like, there's only a couple, like 2 basically Kiwisaver, I don't remember what they're called, like firms. I think one is Craig's. I can't remember the other one. There's only 2 that Americans can even use.
Okay.
So it's not like you could just walk down to Kiwi Bank and be like, I want to open a Kiwisaver. We can't actually, because they won't have access to the US ETF, and then we'll end up getting screwed. This is another blog from. This is actually my old CPA in the States. This guy is expat tax professionals. They're very good. They're based in New York, Israel, and they work with a lot of New Zealand clients. And these guys actually told me, don't go anywhere near Kiwisaver. They actually told me, don't. We're going to have to charge you thousands of dollars because it takes hundreds of hours. This is a CPA article about, I don't know, you can read this. She highlighted some things. My friend brought this for me. But there was one that I wanted to show you. Here's another CPA article. Okay, so this thick form right here. This is the form, not including the actual form. This is just the directions on the form. So this is for everybody. Everybody knows this one. What is this? Form 3520. This is an American's hellscape. This is not even the form. This is just the directions on the form. This is how many hours it is to understand the form. Record keeping, 42 hours for someone to do it. Learning about the law, 4 hours, 15 minutes. Preparing the form, 6 hours, and then sending the form to the IRS, 60 minutes. This is what the CPAs are charging us. This is why they have to charge us thousands of dollars. The total tax account and filing cost per Kiwisaver account, $3,000 to $5,000 New Zealand dollars. If that were me and my husband, it would be $6,000 to $10,000.
Yeah.
That's not including any potential tax. And I just also want to mention, because I didn't see it in here, if you make a mistake with this form,
you have to start again.
If you make a mistake with this form, guess how much they charge you?
Tell me.
$10,000 for one mistake, or 5% of the gross value of the portion of trust assets you are treated as owning. So, which means that's why CPAs won't touch it, because they're like, what if our firm makes a mistake? What if one of our junior CPAs that just came on 2 years ago makes a clerical error? Then we are on the hook and we're screwed, and so is our client.
Yeah.
That's what we're dealing with.
Thank you.
So just thank you. Sorry, makes me so upset.
No.
And we're not mad at National.
No.
We want Kiwisavers. We just can't.
Yeah, and I think you don't come across as mad, okay? You come across as passionate.
Upset.
No, and passionate, and wanting to make sure that someone like me...
And angry at America.
Well, there's not much I can do about that, but you just want to make sure that someone like me understands sort of the flow-on effects and the unintended consequences, and that's why I like the term you used of an off-ramp, sort of what I would call like a get-out-of-jail-free card, where you've got the option to effectively say, we want compulsory Kiwisaver because we want to set everybody up for success when they retire, but at the same time, if there's people in the boat that you're in who then will have the flow-on and ramifications that you're getting from the states, have we considered that and thought about that?
Yeah, and we don't want special treatment, but all I'll say is...
why does the US do this? That's my question.
Well, look, if you want...
I'm not a US citizen, so I don't know.
There are...
Why do they punish you for leaving the US?
Because we have... It's not that they're punishing us for leaving the U.S. It's because we have citizen-based taxation in our laws, not resident-based taxation.
Yeah.
So we're very. It's because that's just the way our law is, and there have been senators and House of Representatives who have tried, to change it, but Congress is useless, and they try to pass. They put up bills, and then they don't actually go anywhere.
Yeah.
In fact, it's gotten worse in the 12 years that I've been here. I came here before FATCA was ever a thing, and FATCA has prevented us from opening new bank accounts here.
Yeah.
So we've grandfathered in, but a lot of Americans run into issues.
Yeah.
It also harms Kiwis who are actually accidental Americans, and we can talk about that in another time if you want to understand how there are actually Kiwis in this country who were born on U.S. soil, like maybe their parents went to Hawaii and accidentally went into preterm labor and gave birth. Well, that is an accidental American, and they're taxed. I actually met a few of them, and it's very hard for them to get out of their citizenship.
Yeah.
Why does America do this? I mean, in all honesty, if the official answer is that's the law, the unofficial answer is I think they just want their money. I just think they want their money.
Yeah.
And I would give nothing more. I know a lot of Americans, if you're listening to this, guys, we would give nothing more than to have residency-based taxation pass as the law of the United States. But that is like taking on Goliath. I don't think it will ever happen. So I think all we can try to control is what the government here does.
Yeah.
And again, I just want to clarify, we're not anti-Kiwisaver.
No,
we would all,
that.
as Americans, love Kiwisaver, but we just can't the way that it is. And the last thing I'll say is, if you guys win the election, I'll be back. I'm going to be talking to y'all.
Yeah.
But if you don't, I know that Labor has talked about this too. I know that other governments other coalitions have talked about this. So I'm going to be the annoying skin tag of an American on the backs of every politician who will listen to us as Americans, because I have a feeling that some Americans living in New Zealand might leave. Now, I just want to clarify, there are some people I've met who have Kiwisaver accounts, but they have to be really careful how they structure it, and they can't contribute any more than their employer match, because then it triggers all of these problems.
I get it.
There's some ways around it. Anyway, I've had enough of your time.
Thanks, Mel.
Thank you.
Nice to see you, and thank you to
Thanks.
everyone who was listening and following along and watching.
Thank you. Bye.